Now in this module, let's create our infrastructure files. Now take note, we are building some form of infrastructure using Terraform. Looking at this diagram, we are going to create some form of infrastructure using Terraform. As seen on the diagram, we'll create Terraform codes and then push those codes to a repository on GitHub, and then automatically use webhooks to get that code into our Jenkins server. We'll be creating basically two given resources: a prod server, a web server, and an Amazon S3 bucket. So prod server, web server, Amazon S3 bucket. So if you come back to our README file, we have to first begin by creating our repository as per the steps. So we are going to create a repository for all of these given infrastructure files. So for us to understand this detailing, let's come to our GitHub. So we come to our GitHub here. You can click on your repositories. You click here, you see your repositories. You can view all of your existing repositories here. Now as you have your repositories here, what you should do now is you click on new. Once you click on new, let's call the repository WonderPrep Terraform Infra Repo. So you give the repository name WonderPrep Terraform Infra Repo. For a description, you can just put some basic Jenkins. You can select Jenkins file, infra, and then app. So for that, you can allow that for the description. So this basically, you have a Jenkins file, Jenkins scripts, infra, just basic description. Now once you have that, you want to allow the repository as public, meaning you can be able to access it. Anyone can access the repository, and then you can add a README file. Now once you add these configurations, once you add this add README file, what we'll now do is you click on create repository. So I'll see creating repository, and if you scroll down, you'll see the repository has been created, WonderPrep Terraform Infra Repo, and then the repository has been created. So what we'll do first is we are going to clone this repository to our local. So for us to do that, I'll click on code, and then I'll click on copy here, and I'll open my VS Code. So I'll come to VS Code, I'll search for VS Code, I'll select VS Code, I'll open a new terminal. So I'll come to file, I'll select open a new window. Once I select open a new window, I can maximize this. You can do the same thing with your VS Code. Once you open a new window, you want to open a terminal, take new terminal, and then you make sure you are in a directory which you are aware of. So if you do pwd here, you see you are in users. So I want to CD into my desktop. I'll be cloning this in my desktop, so I'm seeding into my desktop. If you do pwd, you will see users desktop. This is the current directory in which I'm working. So I want to clone this directory into my desktop. So once I do this, I'll do git clone and I'll paste. Once I do git clone and I paste, I want to clone this WonderPrep Terraform Infra Repo. So once I hit enter, you'll see cloning into WonderPrep Terraform but repo. So if you're in your desktop, if I'm on my desktop, if I cd now to WonderPrep, and then if I cd now into WonderPrep and I do Terraform Infra Repo, I'm now in the WonderPrep Terraform Infra Repo. If I do an ls, I have just the README file. The same thing, I'll come to file, I'll click on open folder. When I click on open folder, I'll go to my desktop, and then I'll select the WonderPrep Terraform Infra Repo, and I'll click open. So it should open the folder WonderPrep Terraform Learning Repo. So the given folder has been opened. Once this folder is open, I'll begin by creating the first file, which is my main.terraform. So I'll create main.terraform file. And then the second file which I'll create is my variables.terraform, and then the last file which I'll create will be my provider.terraform. So these are the three files which I'll create: the main.terraform, provider.terraform, and the variable.terraform. Now take note that the README was actually created by default when we created the repository. Now let's begin by provider. For me to add a provider block, if I come to my console, I can just search for Terraform. I can search for Terraform provider AWS, and I hit enter. So if you come to your official Terraform registry, you click on AWS provider HashiCorp, you'll see how you can specify a given provider in your code. Now this is not a Terraform session, so I won't spend much details in giving that. So for me to configure the provider, I'll just click this, configure the AWS provider. I'll just copy this. I'll configure AWS provider, I'll copy that, and then I'll come to my provider.terraform and I paste. So you now see I have the provider AWS. I'm currently working in the US East 1 region, so I'll allow the region as US East 1. As this is the default, I've created my provider Terraform. Now, if you come back to our repository and you look at the diagram, or you come back to our Jenkins repository, let's go back to our Jenkins repository, Jenkins Terraform Learning. If you come to this Jenkins Terraform Learning, you see we have to create two EC2 instances and an S3 bucket. So the same way I search for Terraform provider, I'll open a new tab and I search for Terraform EC2 AWS, and you can type registry just for it to take you to the Terraform registry. So you do Terraform EC2 AWS registry, so you hit enter. Now you click on the first one, you see you're in the Terraform registry, you click on AWS instance. Now when you click on AWS instance, you will see here example usage. So our focus is for us to be able to create an instance. So we are going to select this first block, this resource AWS instance. Again, this is not a Terraform course. If you have Terraform understanding, this should be easy. So I'll copy this and then I'll come back here. I'll go to my main.terraform and I'll paste the configuration here. So the first, I'll call this the WonderPrep web server, and then I'll give the same tag. I'll rename this to be WonderPrep web server. For the instance type, I'll pass this as a variable. I'll call this variable var.instance type. And then for the AMI, I'll call this AMI var.ami underscore id. I'll create a variable called var.ami underscore id, and then for the instance type, I'll do the same. I'll create a variable and call it instance underscore type. So this is basically what it should look like. We have the resource, AMI ID, instance type. This is just a basic Terraform because we are doing this for demo purposes. Now we can call this AMI ID and then we can specify the instance type. We can say for the web server using instance web, or if you don't want to specify, if you want to use the same instance type for both the web and the app server, we can use the same instance types. So now we copy this because we want to create both the web and app server. I'll just paste it here. This is not Terraform best practice, but we're just doing for demonstration purpose. I'll call this app server. I'll replace this and call this app server. So this should give, we have our Terraform AWS instance, WonderPrep web server, and then AWS instance, WonderPrep app server. Now the last thing is just for us to create an S3 bucket. So I'll come to my console. I'll search for Terraform AWS S3, and then we can say bucket. So once I do that, I hit enter, AWS S3 bucket. Once I click on that, I'll see the code to create an S3 bucket. So to create an S3 bucket is this. So I can see copy this code. I'll copy this code and then I'll paste this code here. Now we are going to comment out this code because we are going to use this code when we are testing our webhook. So to comment this out, I'll do a /, I'll put this star, I'll cut this, and then I come back here, I hit enter and I paste. So I've commented out the resource block to create an S3 bucket, but for us to create the app server and the web server, we are going to allow those blocks. So the last thing for us to do is to create the variables. So create a variable for instance type and a variable for AMI ID. So now come to our variables block. I'll create a variable, the name of the variable, I'll give the name of the variable AMI underscore ID. That's the way we specify the variable in our main.terraform. If you see our main.terraform, this was the instance name. So I'll just copy this instance name. I'll come to variable here and I put the same name, variable AMI ID. Now AMI ID can be a string. The description, we can say this is the AMI, this is the Amazon AMI used, and then I'll come to my AWS console. I'll click on instances. I'll try to launch an instance just to pick up the AMI ID. So I'll select launch instance and then I can pick up an AMI ID. Let's select the AMI ID for Amazon Linux 2023. So once this loads, I should be able to get the AMI ID for Amazon Linux 2023. So this is Amazon Linux 2023. So I'll copy this AMI ID. Remember, I'm working in North Virginia, which is US East 1. So I'll copy that and then I'll come here for the default value. I'll put that AMI ID as a default value. What this means is once this variable is called anywhere in my main.terraform, the value that will be assigned will be this AMI ID. Now, based on our main.terraform, the second variable we need is a variable for the instance type. So I'll create a variable for instance type. I'll copy this. I'll come back to my variables file, and then I'll create a new variable. I'll select that because I have the extension. So I'll leave the name variable instance type. I'll paste that, and then I should see variable, the name, instance type. So the default value, we are going to provision t2.micro instances, t2.micro instances. So this description, you can also change the description. This is the instance type used for the project. So once we have this, we've created our two variables, instance type, and we've created another variable, AMI ID, and we've used those same variables here in our configuration code. Now, for us to test if our code is working, I'll come to my terminal, I'll click on terminal, I'll select new terminal. I'll try to deploy these resources directly with Terraform installed in my system. So I'll begin by doing AWS configure to make sure I have the right credentials to run the project. So I have an access key, I have my access key, I have my secret access key. I'm working in the US East 1 region, and my default output is JSON. So once I do all of that, it means I have the necessary configurations to run the command. So I'll begin by doing the Terraform init. So I'll do Terraform init to initialize Terraform in this given directory. So as I run Terraform init, you see it initializing the back end, initializing provider plugin. So my Terraform init failed. I have some form of network issue, so I'll do again Terraform init. Once Terraform init is complete, we are now going to continue with the other Terraform commands. So I'll run Terraform plan to see the resources that we are going to be creating with this given script. So when you do Terraform plan, Terraform will show you all the resources that you're going to be creating. So remember, when you do Terraform apply will create an log.acl file, your Terraform state file, your variables file, and your variable.state file. Your state file, basically. As we did Terraform plan, we see all the resources that we've created. So this Terraform create will add an AWS instance with the name WonderPrep App Server, and then equally it will create another instance with the name WonderPrep Web Server. So these are the various resources. So Terraform is planning to add 2, and then it will destroy 0, and it will change 0. So let's do Terraform apply for us to see the resources that will be created on our AWS console, just to prove that the code works. So if you do Terraform apply, Terraform will give you, do you want to perform these actions? We take yes. Once we take yes, you see AWS WonderPrep App Server creating, WonderPrep Web Server creating. So both servers are being created. You can come now to your AWS console, you click on instances. Remember, you must be in the region which you specified in your configuration. Now I have other servers running from my previous modules, so I'll refresh these. Once I refresh that, I will now see the WonderPrep App Server which has been created and the WonderPrep Web Server which has been created. You're running with our Terraform command. So if you come back to your Terraform, you see apply complete, 2 resources added, 0 change, 0 this. So this has proven that our Terraform code works. We've been able to create some form of Terraform configuration, push that configuration by creating our resources on our AWS console, on our AWS. Now with this, once we are sure our code works, we'll now do a Terraform destroy to destroy those resources. So we'll do a Terraform destroy. Once you do Terraform destroy, it will now give you the permissions, or you need to put permissions for the resources to be destroyed. So you see AWS App Server refreshing state is refreshing the state before the destroy can be taken into effect. So the ask plan to 0 to add, 0 to change, 2 to destroy. So Terraform will destroy all your managed infrastructure. So enter a value. I'll take yes to destroy. So once you enter yes, Terraform now will destroy the necessary resources. Terraform will destroy all your managed infrastructure. So if I come back here and I refresh, you will see the web server and the app server would have been terminated. So it's shutting down the web server and it's shutting down the app server. If you come here, you equally see that Terraform is currently destroying. So it's destroying, still destroying. Once the destroy works, it will now take you to a place to show that all your destroy is complete, indicating that Terraform has effectively destroyed all the resources. So let's wait for a few minutes, for a few seconds for Terraform destroy to be complete. So if you come back to our console, if you refresh, you see the instances still shutting down. If you come to your VS Code, it is still destroying. So the last error says still destroying, 50 seconds elapsed. This should actually work to show how our Terraform has automatically created these resources. So we are actually going to be provisioning this same set of resources. If you see our destruction complete, if you come back here, you refresh, you will see the 2 instances have been terminated, the WonderPrep App Server and the WonderPrep Web Server. If you come here, you will see destroy complete 2 resources destroyed. So this indicates that our Terraform configuration works. Now the last thing which we are going to do, we'll close our terminal. Because we want to push this code to our repository, we'll create a new file in this R directory. We'll create a new file, and then we'll call this file dot. Remember to put a dot git ignore. This is the way the file should be called. The dot should be in front. A dot git ignore. If you try to pushing this Terraform ACL and all of this will be too heavy for the repository. So for you to solve that issue, we are just going to create a readme file, a .git ignore file that will ignore all of these heavy files. So for us to do that, you can come to your browser, you can just search terraform.git ignore file. It will show you a terraform.git ignore file. So if you click here, you see terraform.git ignore file. So I'll click on this to get the terraform.git ignore file. Once I get the terraform.git ignore file, I'll just click on copy. I'll come back to my VS Code. I'll paste the raw file here. So I'll have Terraform, and then I'll have Terraform state. This is corresponding to all these other files we have here. Once you do this, the last thing we have to do is we hit enter on line 38. You right click here because this file is not found in a git ignore. I'll copy the path. Once I copy the path, I'll paste the path here, and then I'll take away all of this relative path. So what it means is I want to add this .acl in the file. Again, let me delete this to demonstrate the steps again. I'll right click on this .acl. I can click on copy path or copy relative path. I'll just click on copy relative path, and then I'll paste here. Once you paste here, you just put the name .terraform log acl. Now, once you have all of these, the last thing is for us to push this code to our GitHub repository. So I'll come to terminal, I'll take new terminal, and then I'll do a git status. If I do git status, I'll see the git ignore file has not been added, the main.terraform and the provider.terraform has not been added. So I'll go right away to do a git add dot to add those files. If I do git status, you'll see those 2 files have been added. There are now new files in our staging area. So you see we have the AAA to indicate that they have been added to our staging area. So I'll do git commit -m, and I'll say adding project source files. Once I do git commit -m adding project source files, and I hit enter, if I do a git status again, you see that all those files has been committed and there is nothing to commit. So the last thing which I'll be doing is just to do a git push. So for me to do a git push, I'll just paste this and I'll do a git push. Now I'm using a token because I have issues with my GitHub. Once you do that, you have the commit successful, indicating that we have successfully pushed that into our GitHub. Now to verify, I'll come back to GitHub, and then I'll come to my DevOps with Mike. I'll go to my repositories. I'll click here to go to all my repositories. I'll click on repositories, and if I click on repositories, I'll now see the Wanda Prep Terraform infra repo that has been updated now. So this is the repository that we'll be using to set up our Jenkins pipeline. So if you look at the repository, we have our git ignore file, we have our main.terraform, we have our provider.terraform, and we equally have our variables.terraform. So we are going to be using this file, or we are going to be using this repository to integrate this repository with our Jenkins configuration.